Greetings. This is Paul the Poke from PaulthePoke.com. Today's topic, we got a Wuhan virus update. This is a day later, but this was posted February 15, 2020. China continues to try and manage the spread of the Wuhan virus. And then when we look at Luke 21, verse 11, part B, and in various places, famines and pestilences, that's Jesus talking. We're starting to have both in China. Food supplies are starting to become an issue. Grocery stores are running out of food. The government is shipping truckloads of food into Wuhan and other quarantine cities. Despite government orders, people are stocking up and preparing for the long haul. Costs of food are going up due to shortages. So the Chinese government, the communists, are not able to manage free market economics when it comes to food. And this is a little foreshadowing to anyone of things that can happen when Big Brother tries to step in and manage things and start messing with supply distribution chains and that sort of thing. And oh, by the way, telling people, hey, don't do this. What would you do if you were those folks? I'd do the same thing. I'd be buying up food, for your family. So, it's just natural human behavior. Central authority trying to manage it, and they're not going to be able to. People are going to continue to stock up on food, and those who are selling the food are going to continue to charge higher prices because they can. Demographers and disease modelers are becoming increasingly suspicious of the data coming out of China. We're looking at several things here. So the MRC Center for Global Infectious Disease and Analysis in London estimates the mortality rate of the Wuhan virus is about 1%. Now, China says there are 67,000 plus infected with 1,527 deaths. So if you take 1% and you run that with 1,527 deaths, math suggests the number of infected should be close to 150,000. Instead. So, it's literally over double what China's reporting. Now, do you believe math or do you believe the Chinese government? So, I'm going to lean toward the math. And some would even argue those numbers are very low. Some people also take a look at the rate and the slope of the curve of the numbers, and it's almost too perfect. So, there's no variability, which is highly suspicious. Professor Neil Ferguson, director of the Abdul Latif Jameel Institute for Disease and Emergency Analytics, he's made the following observations. The number of people infected is doubling approximately every 5 days. There are possibly 50,000 new infections every day in China. That's a massive number, not again consistent with what the Chinese government is telling us. The virus is projected to grow over the next month, so that would get us into mid-March, with a possible peak at that time locally in the Wuhan area. And then the peak for the remainder of China is expected to be another month later, so looking at mid-April. So we're looking at roughly 2 months, according to these disease and emergency analytics folks who do nothing but track diseases for a living. Now, if you're interested in what Professor Ferguson has to say, click on this link from YouTube. It's about 10 minutes. It's worth listening to. And this is just how a disease modeler looks at the world and how they see things and how they try to make some assumptions, conclusions, etc., based on the numbers that they're given, human behavior, etc. It's pretty interesting. Now, other disease modelers estimate the number of cases may ultimately range from 550,000 to 4.4 million. And I found an article by, at statnews.com, disease modelers see future COVID coronavirus D19 is its official names. And it takes a look at how different modelers around the planet. So these are some of the best disease modeling agencies around the planet, from Los Alamos National Lab, Northeastern University, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Laval University in Quebec. I think there was even a reference to something out of Toronto University in Canada as well. But these groups They model diseases professionally for a living, how they set these models up, what they look for, the math that goes in behind it. It's worth reading. I mean, it's a little tedious at times, but all the factors and variables that go into place as to how these folks figure out how long it takes for a disease to run its course, how big the numbers can be, etc. Fascinating stuff. And here's the latest from headlines. Just went on Google and just typed in Wuhan coronavirus and just scanned the headlines. Numbers again as of February 15, 67,000 plus infected worldwide, 1,527 deaths, 500 million people on lockdown in China. That's 1/2 billion with a B on lockdown in China. Beijing is now imposing a 14-day quarantine for people returning to the city. So if you live in Beijing and you're coming back to Beijing, you will sit tight for 14 days before you do anything. And those streets are bare. All of China's, nothing's going on there. Bustling streets are completely empty. This one is definitely worth watching. The first case reported in Africa in Egypt has occurred. Of all the continents, Egypt is least equipped to manage spread of disease. I'm sorry, Africa is least equipped to manage disease. Hope that doesn't spread any further into the continent. The United States military is preparing for a pandemic. We're taking it seriously. I think we have like at least 10 military hospitals for people coming into the country. They get a 2-week vacation at these hospitals put up by the government to keep the spread of this thing under control. Vietnam has closed its border with China. Russia has closed its border with China. And if you're interested, I'll just click on this. This is statistics, virus statistics. Johns Hopkins CSSE. Click on this and loading up, and it is up-to-date data. This is from 8 minutes ago. Here's the thing, some of these demographers, you look over here in the lower right of this screen, this line is way too smooth and not, it looks like manufactured data. There should be some little ups and downs as we go there. But you see the trend. Then they changed how they track who gets infected. So they jumped 44.7 thousand to 59.8 thousand in one day. Now they're saying it's a little better, starting to flatten out. I think that's what they want us to know or see. That's recovered deaths. 1,775. Again, do you believe the data? But appreciate you guys following along. If you'd like to subscribe, well, the little box is gone again, but you can click in the box, type in your email address, receive notification every time something goes out. And this will continue to be categorized far right hand column of the posts under pestilence. So we're getting quite a bit of stuff put up here under this little pestilence. We're starting to add a little famine into the equation, and unfortunately famine usually increases the spread of disease because the body's just not strong enough from a nutritional standpoint to have the immune system to fight off more disease. So it feeds on itself and things get rolling the wrong way. So I think we need to settle in. This doesn't appear to be slowing down anytime soon, especially if you listen to the math people who follow this professionally for a living. So appreciate you guys following along. Hope you have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.